Eric, I'm super excited to have you on today. But before we jump in to everything that you've built at Optic-Kleer, I want to throw out a few key highlights. You guys have 100 plus franchisees in the UK, plus 40 more in the United States, 33 years in the glass industry, franchising in the UK, and now also in the United States, over 20 years, um, with incredible payback periods and great success. Clearly places you in the top 1% of franchise opportunities. What do you feel like is some of the key metrics driving this performance right now?
So what's made us where we are? I think we're a family business for starters. We do what we say we're going to do. We take great pride in doing things properly. We look after people. We look after our customers, and everything we do is about people. So that goes from our franchisees to our customers to our suppliers to our staff. We won't deviate from that, and that's how we set out to build our business.
I love that. I mean, very simple, straightforward answer. There's no tips or tricks. It's just like do what you say you're going to do and continue going with that. Um, the other thing I wanted to ask before we dive in a little bit more into the background is right now, like there's this giant opportunity arising in the industry. The industry's been great for 33 years for you guys, but we're seeing a very big uptick as far as like what's happening with the automatic, what are they called again?
ADAS systems,
ADAS.
automatic, sorry, advanced driving assist systems.
I looked it up before. Okay.
You got me going there.
So with the new camera, that the front facing cameras for the driving assistance, that's creating a huge market opportunity like right now. Can you tell me a little bit about how that is helping your franchisees become more successful?
Absolutely. Right. It used to be that we would replace a windshield, and how we would price that replacement is we would take the cost of glass and we would add a number on top, and that would give us our profit. But a lot of cars now, 53% currently on the road, have what they call an ADAS system or a safety system. And what that is, it's a forward-facing camera sat on the inside of the windshield facing forward. And it's looking for the dotted lines in the road. It tells the car where it is in relation to the dotted lines. And it also alerts the driver if the driver veers over the dotted lines. And for that reason, the camera has to be perfectly aligned to the vehicle, because in a lot of cases, it will actually move the car into the right position. So when we replace the windshield, we remove the camera from a bracket on the inside of the windshield. We replace the windshield, and then we replace the camera. When that camera has been replaced, if the bracket that it sits in is 1 degree out, just 1 degree, or even the windshield is 1 degree out, that equates to about 30 feet on the road. So in theory, the car can think it's 30 feet in the wrong place. And for that reason, it can pull the car into oncoming traffic. So when we replace a windshield, we have to recalibrate the software within the camera to ensure that the camera is 100% perfectly aligned with the vehicle. The difference it's made to the industry is that calibration, which takes 15 minutes, is bringing in about $300 cost, and it's 100% profit. So what was once a $300 profit job is now a $600 profit job. And what that creates is it creates a situation where the cost of the job is over people's deductibles. So insurance companies are now getting involved. They're paying for it, and they pay us even more. So what was even then in those days, in old days, a well-paying, successful business now has the benefit of ADAS recalibration that we do, and we have to do it. And what's more, looking forward to the future, ADAS is not, it's not going away. In fact, it's going to become more and more prevalent. Like I say, it's 53% now. They say in the next 2 years it's going to jump to 83%. And there's going to be other forms of calibration, like radar calibration, that we have to get involved with.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, when you're looking at a franchise, timing is everything. You want a franchise that still has territory, but they're not too new. But you also want something that's hot and growing, right? And like with Optic-Kleer, you have the decades of experience that it's proven and it's withstood how many recessions, right? But then there's also this spike that we're seeing that's like, okay, for 10 more minutes, I could double the profit on the job. How long is that going to last for? Maybe a few years, maybe 10 years, nobody knows, but it's whatever that baseline of, I'm happy as a franchisee over the last 5 years, and now I'm going to get a huge bonus. And that's what I always look like. That's what I always look for in businesses. You want the stability and the track record, but also what's the unique opportunity now versus last year versus next year. And I think that really puts you guys up in a great position. With that said, I want to jump back to the beginning now. So you started off as an aircraft engineer in the UK Air Force, if I'm not mistaken. How in the world did that lead to building Europe's largest windshield company?
Okay, here we go. A long story condensed. I went in the Air Force at 16 years old. I didn't go to college, not because, well, I didn't think I was stupid, but I just wanted to work on airplanes. And I joined the Air Force another year and a half later. At 17 and a half, I was in a flight line. I stayed until I was 30 years old and basically wanted to run a business. My father had a business, a successful business. So I left the Air Force, I bought some tools, and for 12 years I went door to door, literally door to door. And all I was doing, I was repairing rock chips. And at which point a friend of mine came to me and he said, "Can you teach me how to do this?" I said, "Of course, but I really am thinking about becoming a franchise. Would you be interested in becoming my first franchisee?" And of course. So he joined. A month later, his friend joined. A month later, his other friend joined. And jumping forward 2 years, we had the largest company in Europe, the largest repair-only franchise company in Europe, and probably bigger than anything in the US as well. That's how I got into it. And then what happened was we always loved the States. My family and I would come to Texas. We'd get off the plane, we'd jump on it, we'd rent a car, we'd drive to Walmart, so excited. So, I mean, I can't comment on that now, but at the time, Walmart was fantastic. But it's very hard for a Brit to get into America. And so and one day we were approached by a company in Dallas who wanted to bring Optic-Kleer to America, and they wanted me to come out and head the whole operation. We knew it wasn't a great deal, but we wanted to live in America, so we just jumped at the opportunity, came to the States, and I ran both companies, the US company from here and it wasn't Optic-Kleer, it was working for this other company, but I ran the UK operation from the US as well. I stayed there 2 years and then left the company, by which time I had my green card, and we started building glass shops, and we went from there.
Fast forward to today, and just last month alone, you guys sold an additional 15 territories. What's fueling that growth wave right now?
Okay, so when we started, what we would do is we would have basically a man in a van franchise. So people would come to us, they would be trained, they'd be certified, mentored, nurtured, and they would have their own territory. One man in a van will generate an average 220,000 a year. Some do over 400, some do less, but the average is 220. And what we were finding that a lot of people got to over 200,000 a year, and this is sales. This isn't profit. Profit runs about 65%, and they were earning significantly higher than what they were earning as an employee in their previous jobs, and they, in many cases, 2 or even 3 times as much. And so they got to over the 200,000 mark, and they thought, well, a lot of them were saying, well, I'm earning 3 times as much. I can work 1 day less a week than I was earning. I've got the perfect life balance, and that's where they went, and they were happy. So I can't really argue with that. But as a franchise company, we want growth, and we knew from experience that our shops would generate nearly $1 million a year, and we recognized that a hybrid model of a shop which basically produces the business for retail through retail customers, and a mobile operation like a van that comes off it and does your fleets, your body shops, your car dealerships. In fact, your CarMaxes, you name it, any business is going to generate a significant amount as well. Combined, the total combined, it's a lot. It's significantly higher than a mobile only operation. So recently we joined a franchise consultancy company called the FCC, Now they what they do is they seek out good franchises, and they also seek out good franchisees. They put the two together. And these people work with many of the large franchises in the US. They looked at our model, and they said, really, this is where we need to be. So we reassessed everything, and just changing it immediately, bang. We've never sold or awarded, shall I say, 15 franchises in a month.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and
That's also not just picking up. I mean, after so much, I guess, ramp up, and you're like, okay, I've built the system. Where are the great franchisees, and they're flowing in, which is really good. So, okay, I'm looking at this to buy the franchisee. Am I starting with just the mobile, or am I starting with the mobile and the brick and mortar retail? With 1 to 3 bays. What does that process look like?
okay, so the nice thing about what we do is this: somebody joins us. We have a buildings development person who helps people find a location, but this takes time, and it doesn't matter what franchise you buy. If you're gonna buy a brick and mortar or a lease building location, it doesn't happen next day. So you can sign for a franchise and start the process, but you're looking at a year before you can even open up. In that year, you're incurring overhead. What people tend to do is they come to us, we train them, they start with a van whilst looking for a building. That means that from day one, or when we finish training them, they are actually generating revenue, and that revenue covers all their overhead, or most of it, or hopefully a lot more. And it and it means that, unlike most franchises, they as soon as they join, they're not hemorrhaging money until the building opens. They're actually generating revenue, and when the building opens, they then get more staff, and have both together.
And can you walk me through what are the costing on doing an actual retail location versus the van, and then obviously we can combine those at the end.
Okay, well, we don't offer van franchises on their own anymore, because the margins on the hybrid are five.
So much better. Why not do both?
They are for not 5 or 6 times as much money. The cost to get in is it's more expensive than a van only, but at the same time the rewards are significantly higher.
Yeah. So walk me through some of those main costs, just so we could kind of get an idea of what we're looking at.
Okay, so there's a range. The bottom range is 194, and that's everything, including a van, everything. The top end is about 450 if you want to make it look like a Rolls Royce, but at the same time, the average is round about 300K, and that's all in, including working capital.
Okay. So that's including a van so I could start within a month. I could start generating revenue with my van,
Yes.
while I'm looking and working with your team directly on identifying the site. Now, once I choose the site, and I'm doing all of that for about 350, kind of all in.
About 300. Right.
About 300. Okay, now
Right.
we have this site identified. Negotiating a 5 to 10 year lease is scary. Do you guys provide any support on that?
Yeah, we do. We have among our staff, we have a gentleman who was the vice president of Driven Brands. In particular, Take 5 Oil Change. His position there was finding the buildings. So he has the contacts, he knows the procedures. We leave it to our franchisees to select a broker, but we support them all the way along. We have agreements with sign companies, companies that outfit and outfit businesses. So we have it all. There's a system.
Yeah. So once I have now we have the location picked out. We have a lease. I have a lease signed. I'm doing work with my van, kind of already in the background. Um, if I'm understanding you correctly, all of the vendors are in place, as far as, like, I'm not going to have to ask, like, how do I do this? Where do I buy this from? Like, everything obviously is in the system, and I can go through that and have a store open typically within a year of signing the franchise agreement, all at the same time running my van.
We look at we estimate about 120 days from signing the agreement to opening. One thing we didn't that we missed. the people we take on. So I want to jump back to what we were discussing earlier. The mobile man in a van franchise were people that we took on but no glass experience. Now, when you take someone who's got no glass experience, we were training them from scratch, and it takes time to mature and get up to speed. Right now, we recommend that people take on existing glass professionals. Safelite, Autoglass now. Somebody's been doing it for 10 years, because they can do literally 5 times to 10 times what a newbie can do. And so we're accelerating the growth of the business. So what we're seeing is our the people buying our hybrid franchise are investors. Now these people, they're mostly in a manage the manager situation. So we get involved. We're not allowed to help them select who they want, but we know we teach them what to look for. We then bring them in. We train them. We actually fine tune them. But a lot of these people have been doing it for a long time, and they all learn stuff. So they come to us. They're trained properly. They get proper branding, really professional branding, and they become part of a team, and it works really, really well. People into the we even bring the investors in for training as well. So we have the investors for about a week. They learn all the systems, the software, so they can manage that company without having to be hands-on. Or we've had some that have come in and they've retired. They don't want to be lifting windshields in, but at the same time, they want to be part of the shop, meet the customers, and just come out of retirement and do something constructive and make some money.
So before, the man in the van was really like owner operated. It's usually just me. Maybe I have one other person on the team, where now you guys have developed the business to have franchisees that are going to work on their business, not so much in it. They're not going to necessarily be the glass professional themselves, because there's so many different people you can go hire, and you guys are helping assist with all of that. Did I get all that correct?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What else as far as support goes? So now I've been running my van for, a handful of months. Now I have my grand opening, for the retail location. What is the ongoing support that I expect from Optic-Kleer?
Okay, there's a lot. Number one, obviously, you're going to get your tech support direct from us. And that's not just Monday through Friday. You call us at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, we're going to pick the phone up. If you need help, you need help now. We give you tech support, admin support, software support. We allocate a operations manager to every 10 franchisees. There's an operations manager that will manage your company, and by that they'll come in. They'll look at everything that's going on, how long it takes you to answer the phone, what your closing rate is, the quality of the work, your reviews, you name it, they cover it. They're incentivized to bring your numbers up too. So let's just say you're doing 100,000 a month, and our goal is to get you to 150,000 a month. And that operations manager is experienced in Autoglass, knows how to do that, and will work with you to get you there. So we do that as well. But generally, if you have a franchise with us, you're not just a number. You're part of our family, and most of our franchisees are friends. They'll literally call us sometimes just for a chat. But
I love it. It's a lot more support than just like the business support, or sorry, system support. It's also the general business on how to troubleshoot all these issues.
Yeah.
What about marketing? What is my responsibility as a franchisee when it comes to marketing, and what can I rely on Optic-Kleer to support with marketing?
Okay, so we manage all your social media, which of course is important now. We have people that can manage your advertising, your Google ads. We have ways of generating business, and it's not just about advertising. It's about going out there and talking to the right people and knowing what to say. We go out there and we do it with you to begin with. We hold your hand and show you what to do. There's so many ways to generate business for Autoglass, because as you know, there's about 20% of vehicles that all the time have got damage. So there's so much business out there.
I like that you brought that up, because I was going to bring that up as well. Right before this, I am on YouTube, Optic-Kleer, just learning what I can learn. And I see a video of one of your franchisees that kind of did like a day in the life, which was kind of cool. And he said in part of his decision-making process, He goes, I just went to Walmart Target parking lots. I just counted how many, I just want to see how big the market was. So I just counted how many cracked windshields. He goes, like every 10, you'd see one or two. I've never paid attention to this. And I'm like, no way. Despite just cracking my window with that within the last month, right? No way. So I'm like, I happen to live literally right across the street from Walmart. I
Right.
walk over there. It's a smaller Walmart, neighborhood Walmart. There was 45 cars that I counted, and 8 of them had a cracked windshield. So it's like it was 17 some point something percent, and national average is 10 to 15, which is mind blowing. I didn't even know this industry existed, as far as like how big of a potential it is. And then now it's not only 10 to 20% of cars need a window or rock chip repair, but the profit is doubling, and it could potentially even more than double, because I want to kind of go back on one job. Maybe these are hypothetical numbers, but realistic-ish, right? $300 profit is what I could do on a window. If that's part of the 25 to 50% of cars that now have the new lane assistance cameras, then for 10 more minutes I'm making $600. And because it's now at $600, now I'm reaching some people's deductible. And anytime you go through insurance, you're billing insurance high. So now for that, or higher, right? So now for that same job, I'm not doing anything much else other, again, maybe 10, 15 minutes, but I have the option to not make 10% or 20 or 30 or 50% more, but legitimately 100 up to 200% more for roughly the same work. Am I understanding all that correctly?
You are, but the only thing is the insurance companies set the rates. So we don't bill an insurance company high because we're trying to
Yeah.
take more money out of an insurance company. We actually told what they're going to pay us. We can accept the job or not. Now the other thing is, we don't just do glass. We do headlight restorations. We do glass coatings. We do wiper blades. So there's all these upsells off the back of the original replacement. Now, you were talking about the number of cars. Number one, everybody has a car. Every business has a vehicle. The work regenerates too. So it's not just a case you do a car and it's gone forever. That customer, if you give them a memorable service experience and they're happy with you, they're going to come back. And that's what happens as you get your reviews up and you get your customers that will never go anywhere else. Your advertising budget can go down, because unless you want to expand your company, it depends how you want to work it. But there's plenty enough out there for everybody. It's always regenerating. It comes back.
300 to 350 to get a van. You get the van going in 30 to 60 days, your actual store up in 6 to 12 months.
One
With the
no,
next
store's 120 days. Say
120
6
days
months
from the time of picking it. Okay.
from the sign of signing. Yeah.
It's been incredible. All of the support that you're providing is very evident. I mean, 45 franchisees in the US alone, 15 new territories sold just last month alone. I mean, the market timing is great. Who are the franchisees that are the good fit, right? What are the skill sets in the top franchisees that you guys are really honing in for and looking for in prospective franchisees coming in?
Okay. So for a franchisee, articulate people help. You got to be able to talk to people. I like nice people. I like people I can work with. Just good people. And most of the people we attract are successful. So they've already got successful businesses and super successful businesses too. So if someone's successful, we've got to like them, and they've got to like us, because it's like a marriage. We go way beyond what they would ever expect. In terms of how we deal with people, and indeed them. Now their employees, they've got to be the best of the best, because they're only as good as their employees. So when they come here, we really get to know them, we fine tune them, and we treat them like a franchisee. They become part of something. They're compensated well. They're growing into something big, rather than just being a number. We know our competition. We don't really worry about our competition, but we watch them, and we cherry pick the best people. So as a franchisee, coming into this industry, you're going to have the best support. we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna take care of your friends, of your employees. Um, so so just jump. I've gone off track a little bit here, but
No,
just
you're totally good.
just jumping back to the sort of people we like. I sit down for hours talking to people before they join us. So before they join us, they know us pretty well, and I know them pretty well. And so when they come to visit us, they come for a discovery day. Um, they're almost friends before we start. And I have people say, "Look, I'm really, really worried about coming to see you." And I say, once you've been here 10 minutes, you'll feel like you've known us forever. And that's how it always ends up. So
And I love like what you're not saying is you have to have gone to school and earned this degree, or you have to have gone to this trade school and have this certification, or you have to have worked in the auto glass industry. But instead, it's like, hey, this is a business in a box. It's been working for decades. We just need good people. And because of that, it now opens up the opportunity for so many more people to get into business that maybe otherwise wouldn't have because, like, oh, I lack the experience, if that's
no, you
correct.
don't. You need no experience. Obviously, the technicians need experience, but we have very good. We have the best finance people. We have a CFO from the second largest auto glass company in the US, who himself put in over 250 locations. We have a buildings management director who's done the same thing with Take 5 Oil Change. We've got some amazing trainers. I've been in the industry 33 years. I consider myself very skilled at what I do.
Yeah.
So
It,
the people we have within the company are very, very good. And so when you come to us, you like I say, you've got to come in. We know how to get you to your optimum position. So you're in a good place. This isn't that bit wasn't right. I know. So yeah,
there's
but
good people.
they are good. We get great people. That's the thing. We seem to
And
attract
and
them.
I think it goes into again kind of how I interpreted it on like because it's such a simple process, now you could just focus on people rather than, like, oh, maybe it's not that good of a person, but he has all the experience, so I'm gonna let him in anyway. It's like, no, we want culture. So I like that. Okay. Um, so somebody's looking at this opportunity and one van sounds great and a van with a brick and mortar with a few bays sounds great. But what if they want more than that? What are the opportunities for multi-unit expansions?
Okay, so first things first, we don't just let anybody in. You have to be successful. I'm not in the business of awarding franchises to people that aren't successful. Some people, in fact, when I do my interviews, my first question is, before I start talking business, I want to know whether you want to take over the world, or do you just want one territory? A lot of people want to take over the world,
Mhm.
but don't understand what's involved. So quite often we have to rein people in a little bit. But I can tell by when I interview people, I can tell by the background whether they're good for one territory. And one territory alone is a good business. I mean, it's significant. But I have people buying fours and more, and they are looking at expanding their business quickly, adding multiple locations quickly. The first one we put a territory is super important
Mhm.
because we like to think the first one pays for the rest. So you get the first one, get it in, get it successful, and bear in mind we're working closely with you to get it successful. They will have an operations coach with them, speaking to them every day. We're watching exactly what they do, and obviously different markets are different. So we basically back them so the company grows. Can it be built? We potentially have what I would call a statewide license, a stateside franchise, a master franchise available. But again, we've got to really get to the bottom of how good
Yeah.
people are, because I'm
But
not just going to give a whole state away unless I think they're going to be incredible, and
yeah.
they shouldn't buy it unless they know they're going to be incredible. Are going to work hard as well.
Yep, I love
So,
that. So that there are the options, and I just want one, and I want to replace my income and maybe double or triple it, and
yep.
own my own job and own my own freedom. Boom, that's the option. And then there's also people buying for larger territories. Again, once you have more territories, now you can afford that upper management, and you can continue to step. more and more out of your business while keeping all of the controls in place if done correctly. And then also, not that I was it, we need to touch on master franchising, but maybe potentially in the future. But those first two options are really good. Another thing I wanted to point out, I mean, you brought this up at the beginning. You're like, call me at 10 p.m. on a Sunday, and I'm here for you. You know that when we were speaking on the phone, I was kind of asking like, what's the process for a franchisee to go through? Who are they talking with? And you're like, I'm the guy. And that's when I was like, sweet, I love that. I love that when you don't have to be the guy, right? You have a big company. You don't have to be the guy vetting everybody personally, making sure it's a perfect culture fit to ensure success and all that. But you are doing that. And for me, looking at a franchise brand, I would much rather speak with the owner and hear everything from the owner and the founder of what support I'm going to get and what not, rather than just somebody else in the company. So hats off to you on being so involved. It's awesome what you've built, and the amount of care that you put into this is amazing. My last question for you is just, what's been your favorite part about being the owner of Optic-Kleer? Or I could ask what you're most grateful for in your time being the owner of
Okay,
Optic-Kleer,
I feel
whatever
blessed.
one you want.
Okay, I feel blessed with what I do. I feel lucky. I've worked hard, and I continue to work hard. Um, Most franchises, you don't really get to meet the people that own the company. This whole company is my life, and so I like to meet the people. I enjoy working with people. I like to see them grow and their lives change. And if I can help it in any way, I will. So, what do I like? I mean, I like everything about the car. I love our brand as well. People love our branding. Um, but I like going home at night and sleeping and saying, I'm proud. I remember when I was in the UK, and the UK is obviously a lot smaller. I would drive around the country, and I would see our locations all over. And I'm a normal guy. I don't consider myself. Um, I just consider myself a normal guy who's worked hard, continues to work hard, and does something that got lucky and ended up doing something that he really loves.
I love
And
it. And then
and
you've
that's it,
given that
really.
opportunity to other
Yeah,
people to also
and
get
that's it.
lucky following a playbook rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. So Eric, it's been great. Anybody who wants to find out more about an Optic-Kleer franchise, definitely highly recommend, book a call with Eric, jump on and learn more.